Good morning. Good morning, 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 good morning. Good morning, one and all. Thank you for existing. Purple Sky here, coming to you at 4:47 a.m. Today's topic was very hard because when it came to my attention that I needed to discuss this with you all, I was terrified. I was terrified because I didn't know where to start. It was something that I will say a few minutes ago, I just finished dealing with. It took a lot of meditation because I meditated before going to bed last night. I had a moment before meditating this morning and had a thorough conversation before I sat and opened myself to the universe. I am talking about healing emotionally, emotional healing. It all started, it was last week Friday, where words that were said were coming at me rather powerfully. The idea of having to walk backwards, like turn around and walk back from where you were coming from, the past, history, a new start, reset. These words are just hitting my conscience so hard. I am blown away by what's going on, so I haven't been able to read for the past few nights or study my piano because this was just so powerful. I didn't know what was going on. I just knew, I was aware that in order for me to be present, to continue to move towards my future, I have to revisit my past selves. So that's what I did. I came to the conclusion that a lot of things that I was being directed to do, especially in my youth and growing up as an adult, is that we cannot be imaginative. We have to be realistic. The words I keeps it real was always repeated, and it's something that I felt robbed me of my persona. I needed to change what keeping it real meant for me. Keeping it real wasn't, considered realistic. Keeping it real, let me rephrase that. Keeping it real was considered being realistic, but to me, that was the lie. Keeping it real in my eyes was just accepting what was in front of you. Keeping it real also meant admitting that I believe in the impossible. I believe in the underdog. I believe in growth. I believe in climbing ladders to get from point A to point B to point C to point F, just to everything. Like one leads to two. I believe there may be interferences. That's just something that I believe. I believe that in spite of those interferences, there's always an alternative. So keeping it real wasn't about being street smart to me. Keeping it real was about embracing my intelligence, accepting that I know more things than the person that's considered smarter than I. My problem was I was afraid to keep it real. I was afraid to keep it real that I believe in all of these impossible things because I knew of no one that believed in these impossible things, no matter what they were. So I cookie cutter a lot of my desires, a lot of my wishes, a lot of my dreams, a lot of my desires. That's what I did. And it continued to build as I got older. Eventually, it all started to deteriorate, and I realized that the truth was, when it came to loving someone, or someone loving me rather, romantically, intimately, I believe it wasn't possible. So I believe in gaining your dreams and working towards your goals, yeah, but the impossible for me was someone learning how to love me. Because to a lot of people, I seem quiet when they meet me. They feel they need to be my voice. A lot of people. I could name people on one hand who didn't feel that way. I did not understand that. I thought that was something that was supposed to occur, even though it wasn't something that I agreed with. So when it came to being heard, it was a challenge because I made people used to my listening to them more than speaking about my personal life. So I play a part in that as well. Even the fantasies I shared with you all that I was having, I would not imagine being loved in these fantasies in a sense of being told or being given any sort of adoration. And I already felt weird about that. Like, why am I not allowing this person to adore me? Why am I doing all that adoring? And then I realized this morning, I just stopped believing anyone could learn to love me. That I felt that I was too much. Even though I stopped understanding what that meant exactly. With with the whole concept of instant gratification, does that make me too much for not wanting to be gratified instantly? So, deep down, I stopped believing. I stopped believing that anyone would love me. I demanded it. So, you know what, I'm not going to be with anybody if, they're not going to do this and that and the third. Yeah, I demanded it. But I became very comfortable with my continuation of turning men down, finding faults in them. And it wasn't something that I liked. That was something that I didn't like about myself. But it became something I appreciate because I'm not in a relationship where I have any regrets. So I had to let that go. I had to forgive myself for that. And it was amazing. It felt good. I had to remember that I wanted to have kids. I just stopped wanting it because not only did I not want to be a single mom, I just stopped believing it would happen. I think that was my way of giving up. I remember the support I imagined having from my husband, my future husband, when I was younger, and no longer having that fantasy because it was being unrealistic. I remember having high hopes. High hopes for having a family, being a homeschool mom, homeschooling the kids. I remember, and I just stopped. I gave up, but I'm not doing that anymore. I can't say that there's someone here. I can't say that I'm in a relationship because I'm not. I am still single. Yet still, somewhere, someone is thinking about me. Someone is listening to me. Someone is hearing me speak and already planned to take me up on my offer. And it makes me feel it makes me submit to the possibility. Yeah, it does. You have to embrace what you are, what you want, what you desire before you get it. Because in my opinion, it could come right in front of your face and you won't even know. You'll have no clue. You would not be aware of this powerful force. And even if it's just an inkling that it reaches you, you'll just ignore it. Because it's like there's no effing way. No effing way this thing is legit. I gave up on this thing years ago. I'm changing that now. I can't give up anymore. I am reborn. I am reborn into exactly what I need. And I'm ready for whoever the world has for me. And I'm asking you all to try. It is hard. It is a jungle out there. It really is, especially with building relationships and sustaining relationships. It's a jungle out there, but there is that person for you. If you're into polyamorous relationships, okay, that might be like 5, 3, whatever. It's your Kool-Aid. You got it. You could do this. But my question is usually, why want more? Is it the intensity of having that attention? Giving that authority? Is it filling some sort of fantasy, fulfilling some sort of fantasy? I was told that, you need to date around, you need to meet new people. And I'm like, it's kind of hard to meet new people when you already know what and who you want. And I say who, I don't know if it's loosely or I'm pointing a finger, but whoever needs to hear this, hears me loud and clear. And I'll meet you there. Rather, you'll meet me here. So for it all, let's think about what we want. Let's be honest about it. Let's joke about it. Let's be real about what we want. And even if it sounds ridiculous to ourselves or to our friends, okay, it sounds ridiculous, but just say it. Be honest about it. And then hopefully you would break it apart to understand, well, this is the reason why I want this. And then question if that's a good thing for your self-esteem or a bad thing. And if it's a good thing, why? And if it's a bad thing, why? You know, let's question ourselves. Let's have conversations with ourselves. We have the answers. We got the answers. May not be the same answers as, you know, David over there, but it's an answer. And question those answers until it makes sense, until it clicks, until your heart can say, oh, that's why. So I'm asking you to love yourself a little bit more today. Today, tomorrow, for the rest of your lives. And as for me, I will continuously love you, even if right now you're a hot mess. Thank you for being here. Please enjoy the remainder of your day. And yes, I'll say it again. As always, I love you.